I would imagine this has come as quite a shock to most Britons, because you don't normally hear stories of MPs being shot.
Absolutely, and it really is a massive shock. Jo Cox was just 41 years old. She was a mother of two. She was only elected last year in the last general election, a new MP. Who tonight has lost her life. She died at around 1:45 this afternoon, around 2:45 in the afternoon South Africa time. She'd been holding a surgery, the word given to when she meets the local constituencies, and every MP, the hundreds of MPs here in the UK, do that towards the end of the week. It appears there was some sort of scuffle outside of this surgery. The details are still sketchy, and there are reports that the MP was fired at 2 or 3 times. Some eyewitnesses say that she was seen laying in a pool of blood on the pavement here before, as you say, that she was airlifted to hospital. We have had reaction across the political board here in the United Kingdom. I'll just bring you some of that. The British Prime Minister David Cameron has said that today we have lost a bright star. Jo Cox had a huge heart. David Cameron was due to speak in Gibraltar tonight, the British territory south of Spain. That speech has been cancelled, and that comes as part, as you mentioned, of both sides of the EU referendum, with 1 week to go, have suspended all of their campaigning. Now, Jo Cox was a Labour MP, and the Labour leader here, Jeremy Corbyn, has said that the country will be in shock at this horrific murder, describing the MP as a much-loved colleague.
All right, so we know that she's sadly passed away, but we're hearing stories that people tried to intervene. Did anybody else get injured as in the scuffle that followed?
Yes, there was a 77-year-old man who we understand from police suffered slight injuries. We're not believing that anyone else was injured during this, but this 52-year-old man was arrested around an hour or so, we believe, after, in a nearby street. There are pictures which are emerging of his arrest in the street there. Something that has just come in the last few minutes. We have a statement actually from Brendan Cox, Jo Cox's husband. And I'll just read some of that out. He's issued a statement saying that today is the beginning of a new chapter in our lives, more difficult, more painful, less joyful, less full of love. He goes on to say, this is Jo's husband, saying that I and Jo's friends and family will work every moment of our lives to love and nurture our children. Of course, Jo was the mother of 2 children, to fight against the hate that killed Jo. And I won't read the whole statement, but it goes on to say that Jo would have wanted 2 things above all else to happen now. 1, that our precious children are bathed in love, and 2, that we unite to fight against the hatred that killed her. Hate doesn't have a creed, race or religion. It is poisonous. Jo would have had no regrets about her life. She lived every day to the full. We don't know the motive yet behind this 52-year-old man who is alleged to have carried out this attack. That will emerge as this investigation continues. All
right, you said the hate. And as you said, we don't know what the motive is, but could it have anything to do with politics or even the referendum?
There's certainly no way that we can rule that out. And of course, this killing is timely. We don't know the history. There are allegations swarming about the history of this man, but it is too early to speculate. What we do know is Jo Cox had been an avid campaigner for the In campaign for the UK to remain inside the European Union. But I think it is too early to speculate whether or not this is politically motivated. But it certainly isn't something which can be ruled out.
All right, Dan, we'll leave it there for the time being, but certainly we'll try and catch up with Dan Whitehead a little bit later on as more details start to emerge. Jo Cox, MP, shot and stabbed, has died, and a 52-year-old man was arrested an hour after the incident. Motive is unknown at this stage, but investigations continue.